viewers, this is Chandini and you're watching GW News Recap, and here are the top stories of the week. First, headlines. Nagaland Chief Minister Dr. Nipirio reaffirmed the state government's commitment to completing the new High Court complex at Merima near Kohima. The AU Students' Conference has strongly condemned the alleged abuse of a 9-year-old Konyak boy by Wapang L. Imsung, a government employee serving as an LTA computer operator. NFHRCC has inducted the Tikir Naga and indigenous Nagaland Garo communities into its fold and appointed a new executive team during an emergency meeting. The Inner Line Regulation Commission of the NSF has welcomed the State Cabinet's recent decision to establish an enforcement directorate dedicated to implementing the ILP system in Nagaland. And now, the news in details. Nagaland Chief Minister Dr. Nipirio reaffirmed the state government's commitment to completing the new High Court complex at Merima near Kohima, speaking at a tree plantation program organized by the High Court Bar Association Kohima at the new complex site on May 17. Dr. Rio expressed concern over the lack of central funding for the project. Dr. Rio noted that while states like Meghalaya, Assam, Tripura and Manipur received 100% funding from the Government of India for constructing their high court complexes, Nagaland has not received any such grant. Despite this setback, Dr. Rio stated that the state has already invested over Rs 200 crore in the construction. An estimated Rs 300 crore more will be required to complete the complex, including staff quarters, and make it fully functional. Dr. Rio also shared that he had previously approached the Ministry of Home Affairs to request a constitutional amendment in Parliament for a separate High Court for Nagaland. He affirmed that the state will continue to pursue this goal until justice is delivered. Expressing hope for the future, the Chief Minister said he believes the new High Court complex will become a place of blessing for all those seeking justice, helping foster harmony in society. The Inner Line Regulation Commission of the Naga Students Federation has welcomed the State Cabinet's recent decision to establish an enforcement directorate dedicated to implementing the Inner Line permit system in Nagaland. However, the Commission emphasized the need for tangible and timely follow-up measures. The decision, reportedly taken during the Cabinet meeting on May 14, aims to ensure stricter enforcement of the ILP in the state. The NSF-ILRC acknowledged the state government's candid admission of its shortcomings in ILP enforcement compared to neighboring states such as Mizoram. It also reiterated the urgency of the memorandum submitted jointly by the ILRC and NSF to the Chief Secretary on April 10, 2025, urging the government to act without further delay. The Commission further questioned the necessity of conducting visits to other PEFR 1873 implemented states, stating that such efforts may result in redundant expenditure of time and resources. It referenced the 2017 Quezon Committee visit, whose findings were described as comprehensive and practical, asserting that meaningful progress could have been achieved had those recommendations been implemented. In addition, it recalled the detailed reports submitted by the Alam-Temshi Committee in 2007 and the Senti-Yangar Committee in 2015, lamenting that both were dismissed without action despite the considerable effort and thought put into them. The NSF-ILRC expressed concern that the pattern of forming committees and issuing public statements without follow-through continues to cast doubt on the government's commitment to ILP enforcement. Nonetheless, the Commission remains hopeful that the May 14 resolution signals a genuine shift and called on the state leadership to show decisive political will and take prompt, practical steps in line with the provisions of the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation 1873. In a heartbreaking incident, a devastating road accident occurred in the early hours of May 15 near the viewpoint area in Sesepru, close to the old Chomugidima Heritage Village, claiming the lives of 2 college students and leaving 2 others critically injured. Police reports indicate that the accident took place around 12:30 a.m. when 4 young male students, all in their early 20s, were returning from the viewpoint. The vehicle involved a Bolero Invader, reportedly a government-registered vehicle believed to have been procured through auction, veered off the road and fell nearly 200 feet down a steep slope. 2 of the students, identified as A.N. Shohe and Zaisetu Ziliang, died at the scene. The two others, Peter Kihomong and Sipom, sustained serious injuries and were rushed to the Christian Institute of Health Sciences and Research in Dimapur. 3 of the students were enrolled at Saku's Mission College, while 1 attended Unity College. All 4 were residing in a private hostel in Dimapur while pursuing their education. There were no direct witnesses to the incident. However, local residents reported hearing a loud crash around midnight, prompting concern. The mangled vehicle was only discovered around 6:30 a.m., after which authorities were notified. Due to the treacherous terrain, rescue operations proved to be extremely difficult. With the cooperation of local residents and traffic police, the 2 injured students were retrieved between 8:30 and 9 a.m. The bodies of the deceased were recovered later by personnel from the State Disaster Response Force between 11:30 a.m. and noon. An investigation is currently underway to ascertain the precise cause of the accident. The Nagaland Foothills Road Coordination Committee has inducted the Tikir Naga and indigenous Nagaland Garo communities into its fold and appointed a new executive team during an emergency meeting held on May 9th in Dimapur. Reaffirming its foundational role in conceptualizing the Foothills Road project in 2013, the NFHRCC reiterated its unwavering commitment to the development of the Trans-Nagaland Expressway. The committee urged successive state governments to prioritize the project and pledged continued collaboration with the concerned department to ensure transparency, inclusivity, and quality execution. Declaring its responsibility as both a stakeholder and a watchdog, the NFHRCC warned that any deviation from the original route or concept of the People's Road would be viewed as a betrayal and met with strong opposition. The newly constituted executive team was approved unanimously based on the recommendations of a 3-member search committee led by convener Chingtan Konyak. Subur Jamir was retained as convener, while K. Himahito Chishi was appointed co-convener. Other key appointments included Janitang Humtoy as General Secretary, Younger as Assistant General Secretary, Itechu Ziliang as Publicity and Information Secretary, and K. Marlemtur as Finance Secretary. A joint consultative meeting was also held the same day between the NFHRCC, the Changpang Area Committee on Foothills Road Project, and representatives from Bhandari and Changpang circles, including Sumi villages under the Bhakti division. The meeting unanimously resolved to uphold the original 2013 alignment of the Foothills Road as endorsed by the NBWT, RNB, and 10 tribal hohos. Further, the gathering endorsed previous resolutions of the Lotha Hoho and reaffirmed support for communications and joint survey findings submitted to the NBWD Chief Engineer regarding minor need-based realignments. The aggrieved villages from Bhandari and Changpang circles, along with the Sumi villages, expressed full solidarity with the NFHRCC's leadership and decisions as stated in the committee's press release. The Ao Students' Conference has strongly condemned the alleged abuse of a 9-year-old boy by Wapang L. Imsong, a government employee serving as an LTA-cum computer operator with the Dent IR Battalion, Zatima, currently attached to the Police Engineering Project, PHQ. Describing the act as inhuman and appalling, AKM called it a blatant violation of the Juvenile Justice Act 2015 and an infringement of the child's fundamental right to life under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. The organization demanded that the accused be prosecuted under Section 75 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita without delay. Expressing shock and outrage, AKM said it was horrified by the brutality inflicted on a child who at such a tender age deserves protection and a nurturing environment. AKM also expressed deep concern that such an act was allegedly committed by someone entrusted with public service and discipline. Stating that such actions have no place in a civilized society, AKM urged the authorities to ensure strict and impartial legal proceedings against the accused, emphasizing the need for justice to be swift and transparent. Standing in solidarity with the victim's family, AKM also appealed to the civil society and concerned citizens to speak out against such crimes and work collectively towards building a safer and more human environment for all children. The Beauty and Aesthetic Society of Nagaland has announced that the Miss Universe Nagaland 2025 pageant will take place on June 11 in Kohima. The announcement was made during a press briefing on May 15. Marking a significant shift from previous years, this will be the first time a full-scale state-level pageant is held to select Nagaland's representative for the Miss Universe India competition. Earlier, candidates were chosen through direct auditions. BASN President Mele Pucho stated that the new format is intended to identify and prepare the most capable contestants for the national platform. The winner will represent Nagaland at the Miss Universe India pageant, with the national schedule to be announced after the conclusion of state-level events. Adding prestige to the occasion, Miss Universe India 2024 Riya Singha will serve as a guest judge at the Kohima finale. The full panel of judges will be revealed in coming days. The pageant is supported by the Department of Tourism, Task Force for Music and Arts as venue partner, and Westside Dimapur. The event is being organized in accordance with official guidelines from the Nagaland Group, the national franchise holder for Miss Universe India. Nagaland is expected to witness light to moderate rainfall across most districts till May 21, with heavy rainfall forecasted statewide on May 18. These showers may be accompanied by lightning in isolated areas, and intermittent rain is likely throughout the week. Given the potential risks such as lightning strikes and strong winds, which may affect communication and infrastructure, the Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority under the Home Department has advised the public to remain vigilant and take necessary precautions. The NSDMA has also called on all district disaster management authorities and relevant departments to stay on high alert to ensure the safety of lives and property during this active monsoon period. Well, that be it for this week's news recap. For more news and updates, keep watching Global Window. Good night.